wait for it to pop up on your phone, but you know we're going.
All right.
We're doing our pre-show intro.
Oh, okay.
When you put these on YouTube, do you cut this part out?
No, I just export it. I could then go and.
Well, we have no viewers, so
edit
there's
it.
really no.
There we
point yet.
go. There's that live notification.
Oh, you got the notification? Let me check
Yes, there it is.
mine. Can you connect to us? Are we live?
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't get it.
There it
Why
is.
did you get it?
No, I didn't get the notification. I just kept going back and forth on it until finally it popped up.
Like
So.
magic.
Yeah. All right.
My nose.
World music. Ooh. Yes, let's get on that.
My nose is making a weird like
Whistle?
Yeah. When I breathe in and I can hear it in the microphone. Self-conscious about my nose whistle.
Oh, nose whistling. There we go. That's what we're going to start with. Nose whistling.
Oh, we just had a giant clip out of
Uh-oh.
audio.
Yeah? Did I bump something?
I don't know. A lot of noise is going on.
Yes.
Yeah. What's up? They're not going to explode.
It's not going to get that cold. It's not going to freeze. It's not a freezer.
I know. I'll get it out before I go to bed. Okay. I'm hearing a little echo.
Yeah?
It's making me worried. It's coming from yours. I don't know if it's going to pick up on the stream.
How's that? Is that better?
Is that better?
Is it better? do you
See,
say?
you're not echoing, but why do I? I'm going to watch us. Let's give it a test. I don't think it's going to come through. I think we're fine. I just think because this is so close to my ears
Yeah.
with the monitoring that I can
Right.
just hear that little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not roll the intro. Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
And why is there no camera? There it is. Bring it in, Jeremiah.
All right. Hey, welcome to episode 10 of Zero Intentions Podcast. I'm Jeremiah. This is Kyle. And I have nothing.
You
I
have
don't know.
nothing?
Well, I
That was
mean,
That's a horrible.
we didn't
way to start.
discuss before we started what we're going to start on. We at least do that. Like, there's no intentions for the rest of the podcast. Let conversation would go where it wants to go. But we usually have a seed, a starter topic.
Kinda. One of us
Yeah,
does. I usually don't want
right?
to hear it from you.
Exactly. Like, we don't share it with each other. Just one of us has an idea. Like,
bounce up.
here's where I'm going to start.
We could
So,
start every podcast now with the fact that we don't have an idea.
That's it. Yep. So,
and just see.
I mean, it would be like eventually I think be nice to get topic ideas from people, like
in the chat,
yeah, what they want to talk about. Or what
it would
us
be
to talk
nice.
about, but
Yeah.
Not there yet.
Or if
We're only
got
10
comments.
million subscribers right now, so
Only 10 million.
yeah, not quite there yet.
If each of you 10 million gave us $1,
There you go.
$10 million.
Yes, you'll all get $10 million. Yep.
Well, I
Isn't
don't
that
know
how that
about-
works?
No. Yeah, sure. Let's tell them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean that.
If you believe that,
Hey,
then
exactly.
sure, I'm in for it.
Reality can be whatever you want it to be.
Anything.
Yes. So that's actually something that I think is funny about. I haven't really looked into this a whole lot. I don't know what the plan is.
So you're a
for
professional.
What's that?
You're
I'm a
a
professional.
You're professional at
Yes,
this.
I do no research.
You know everything.
No
about
research
this.
at all, but I'm still going to give my opinion.
What is it? That's not
Um,
professional. That is an expert. You are
I'm
an
an
expert
expert.
in this matter.
Yes, exactly. I'm an expert in no research. But anyway, so Facebook announced that they're changing their name
To Meta.
to Meta.
Meta.
Yep. I don't know how far that extends, like what that covers, if they're actually changing Facebook to Meta, or if it's going to be another like Google Alphabet type of,
I will say that
setup.
Meta would sound a lot cooler seeing like that app on my phone than Facebook.
Then Facebook? Yeah, Facebook is dumb. It always has been.
And it's bright blue. They
yeah.
should just change it completely.
But I mean, I get why it was called Facebook. I mean, because they admitted that, they wanted to, see pictures of the eligible girls to then date in college. So, Facebook, sure, yeah.
If they were really smart, and I mean like they're clearly not anymore,
Mm-hmm.
they would just create Meta, make it totally different than Facebook, rebuild their structure to something else, say we own this, and
Right.
slowly just fade out Facebook because MySpace isn't coming. There's no other social media that's coming.
I don't know if it could work that way, just because, even though people like have a love-hate relationship with Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to leave it for something else that isn't Facebook.
What if you just kill
So,
Facebook?
but if
though?
well, I think people would lose their minds. But,
They should do that.
but if they do it the way they're doing it right now, where they say, hey, we're Facebook and now we're changing our name, that's easier than, trying to compete with yourself.
I don't even want them to compete with themselves. I just want them to create something new
Right.
and kill off their old
But-
self.
Anyway, so part of this whole, Meta thing, I guess, Zuckerberg went on, like, showed his, like, Meta worlds or whatever they call it. I don't know. It's like something to do with that, but his little avatar. I guess they actually did
yeah, I saw that.
I guess they actually did a skit, or recreated a skit from Black Mirror, like unironically, like they're like, "Isn't this great?" Like,
Really?
but Black Mirror is like supposed to be like, this.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
I haven't. No,
None of them.
I still haven't. No.
There's
Yeah.
like 3 seasons,
Right.
and a whole.
It's always been on my
Bandersnatch.
list, but
There's a Choose Your Own Adventure.
I know.
Movie. Have
Yes.
you seen that?
I haven't.
That's good. I've
Yeah.
watched it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Did you take a different path every time?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. Why not?
I had to.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then I even looked up how to get the secret endings because I want to see them.
Right. That actually came up in. I was watching a YouTube video about Choose Your Own Adventure books,
Mm-hmm.
the history of them, and their effect on culture. And
I had original Choose Your Own
Bandersnatch came
Adventure
up.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love those books as a kid.
Yeah, my stepdad had a big stack of them
Yeah.
along with those D&D guides I was telling you about.
Oh yeah, yeah, they were great. Like, I had all the, like,
Did you
just
ever
the
cheat?
weird ones. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I'd open the page
Yep.
and I'd be peeking. It's like, you
Yeah.
died. I'm like,
Just
nope,
keep
no,
my
no,
finger
no,
there
yeah.
just in case
Just in case I'm
you're
gonna die.
trying to hoodwink me here, and they always did, because you get no information. Like that's what I don't really like about some of the writers, and like some of them were good, and they're
So
like,
do you want to go
here's
on
some
the left path or
clues.
the
Yeah.
right path? You're
Exactly.
like left, dead. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Well, good
It's
to know.
like I had no information, no indication that what that choice meant, and you see it a lot in like I think that video game Detroit Become Human kind of did that.
I couldn't get into it.
I never played it, so I know it's part of the classics,
See, I played
download
it.
whatever. But
And you're not one character the whole time.
yeah,
You like, it's like almost like chapters. Like you play as different people.
okay,
And it's like if you're gonna do a choose your own adventure, you should stay one character until you die,
yeah,
and then have the option to switch.
right.
Because like I can't get emotionally
Yeah, that's
invested
kind
in
of.
the
I
game.
mean, that's how I'm playing my D&D campaign right now. Like, I have 2 characters, but I'm only focusing on one. Like, most of the other players are kind of swapping back and forth depending on.
It's hard. You got
whatever
to be
they wanna
invested
do,
in
but-
one thing. For me,
Right,
You have to-
exactly.
I mean,
It's
if
like,
not, it doesn't feel
If
right.
my main character dies, I have the option. Like, he's already created. He already exists in the world to go and play the other one. But like I'm fully invested in this one character.
That's how it is.
So
Same-
in I actually the last section I broke my arm, so I gotta figure out what kind of
just chop it off.
repercussions that's gonna have.
Chop it off.
I have some ideas, but it's all up to the GM on what he
Chop it
will
off.
allow.
You don't
or
need
wanna
it.
do.
Eat it.
I
Save
use a
it for
bow.
food.
I can't chop it
Oh.
off, so I don't have a
You
don't
got
have a
feet?
crossbow.
You
Yeah,
have feet. I've seen that. You can
right.
Shoot a bow with
Yeah,
your foot.
yeah, yep.
2 feet actually, but
Right. I did learn how to fly, which would have come in handy had I used that prior to breaking my arm. But
can you fly without that arm?
yeah,
Are you sure?
I have wings. Like I don't like.
Oh, you
grow,
have
like,
wings.
Temporary wings. Yeah.
Temporary wings.
Yeah. Only while the spell is active. Yeah.
Oh, they're magic wings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's like your character grows wing like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Right.
wings pop out your back.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, but I was going to say in Detroit Become Human, you make a selection of a response, and it like adds on like additional like intention, like the opposite intention of whatever you want. I think other games do that too, but you know, that's kind of the meme there. It's like, you know, it's you know, walk up to somebody, your options are, you know, like to say hello, to say, to, you know, to be, you know, rude, and say, you know, walk in there and be like, your face sucks, screw you, or just say nothing or leave or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, I'll be nice, I'll say hello, you know, hello, you ugly person. You know, it's like, what?
Oh, really?
It's like,
I never got.
like, I did not want to do
far.
that. That's not a legitimate
But it
example,
but
but it's
tells-
kind of like that. Like, you know,
crazy.
it makes it seem like you're going to respond in a certain way with a certain,
And then it's
you know,
not.
response. And and it's like, oh, by the way, no, this is actually a negative one. So
Well, I've been playing through Skyrim, and it's the same. You know, there's always options to talk.
yeah,
And it seems like there's a nice way and a bad way, or it'd be
Mhm.
like, it seems they give you options. What I don't like, that don't matter.
yeah,
It's like you can say, please give me that knife, never mind, or I will kill you to take it.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, never mind just backs you out, and you
Sure.
need this knife.
Yeah.
So then you say, please give me the knife, and they're like, no. And then it gives you those three options again. You're like, so why did you even give me the option to ask that if it was never going to go any? It just brings me back to saying,
Right.
fine, you need to die.
Huh.
Gives you like an illusion of choice, but there's really no choice. You're going to have to kill this person.
Right.
As far as I'm aware, unless there's like some trick, if you don't do this quest until you're level 400 and your
Yeah,
persuasion's
you got to get the
like,
person to like you first.
Right.
Yeah.
you got to get this evil person that lives in a cave to like you, and then
Yeah.
then they're like, yeah, of course you can
Sure.
have it.
Yep. Bring them some cave mushrooms. I don't know.
I'd sign up for every quest you can. Just my whole quest log I've been playing for like 3 days is huge already.
Yeah.
It's just so many. And one of them was like, get 3 flawless gems. And I honestly skip a lot of the dialogue, especially from characters who mean nothing. So like, I don't really remember why this guy wanted them. I think he was making a wedding ring. So in my inventory, I saw I had 3. So I'm like, all right, I'm in the town, I'll stop by. And I give it to the guy. And I think they say there were $300 each, which at the store is like $150. Again, don't know why. Tells you the value of an item, and then you don't ever get that value of the. It's like, why tell me that value then? So you're basically giving like $450 worth of gems away. And he's like, thank you so much for doing this for me. Here's a potion of stamina. It's worth like $3. I'm like, what? Why is this a quest?
Yes.
Who would do this?
Yep.
Maybe that guy helps later on.
Those
I don't
quests
know.
are designed to get you to not trust people. That's what it is. Yep.
Yep.
You're like, it's a better policy to just kill everyone you meet.
See, I used to do that until it was in Skyrim, and I don't remember what mission, but I killed someone, and it turns out like if you don't kill them later on, you can get this sweet weapon or something that's going to help you. And so now I'm like, if there's someone I can kill, I just hop on Google. I'm like, killing so-and-so. It's
Right.
like, no
Yeah.
repercussions. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
They're going to die now.
Right.
Because I don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
But I think I'm on a mission, like, I just saw the first dragon, which is what the whole game's about. And I've already finished as far as the Assassin's Guild as I want, because I got the Undead Horse. Thieves Guild to the 3rd to last mission, because you get a skeleton lockpick that doesn't break, and you have to give it back to finish the Thieves Guild, which never going to do that. I'm going to keep this lockpick that never breaks until my lockpicking's 100, and then you have your own skeleton key. But I haven't seen any dragons, and I've got I looked up all the best items to get from side quests. So I've just gone, because that's what I cared
So the game
about.
becomes trivial.
It's weird because things are still more powerful, because like, I'm not powerful. I got all these cool items that help, but I can still get just
That's
smoked.
I kind of did that to myself in Cyberpunk, in that I got like the best mantis blades right off the bat, and the whole game became super easy.
Oh, you're just killing everything?
Yeah, I mean, just like dismembering people, decapitating them.
I can't do that. I mean, I could level up before I do the main quest and do that. The nice thing about the lockpick is, like, when you're doing a dungeon crawl or something, if there was a chest or a gate that helps you get somewhere faster that was like a master, and you only have like 10 lockpicks left, you're not going to waste all 10, because what if there's a chest you want to open? Now it doesn't matter. I can just try a billion times until it opens, and it makes things easier. Still hard in combat, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need to play that game someday in earnest. Like I've tried a couple times.
I'm sucked back in.
So yeah, are you're playing the anniversary edition?
No, I'm playing Special Edition, which was the last edition that came out.
Oh
But
yeah, I think you told me that.
when
You-
Anniversary
yeah.
came out on Wednesday,
Mhm.
it did give you a free upgrade.
Hmm.
For you got fishing, survival mode, and I think it gives you 60 frames per second now rather than 30.
Hmm.
But it turns out if you buy it, you get more creation items. And I didn't know what that was, but you have to pay real money for those. So like, I'm not gonna buy the more expensive edition to have access.
Are those
to
like
buy...
community items or something like that? Is
I
that,
don't
is that
I don't
how it
know
works?
because there's mods for free
Yeah,
from the community,
sure.
and I don't know if these creator items are created by the community, but they cost real money to buy.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to pay more money to have access to buy 3,000 more of those things. Because I'm never going to spend real money to buy extras onto a game.
yeah.
I'm just not. There's enough mission and gameplay in Skyrim that I will never get through it all before I feel the need to buy new armor sets.
Right. I wonder if like sometimes I do, like, you know, if I have spent money on mobile games. I will admit that.
That's the worst. That's like a
It
sin.
is.
What are you
I know.
doing?
Yeah. One of which was an accident. And
Accident.
and it was I did it while I was sleeping.
That
and they
sounds even
wouldn't-
sketchier.
Yeah, they
Grandma.
wouldn't give me my money back.
My
so.
second cousin took my phone, and I just got it back. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Is that one of those
Right?
stories?
Yeah, no. I did something really dumb, and I was playing the game as I was laying in bed and fell asleep, and when I woke up, there was a receipt.
Really? I've only fallen asleep playing one
So-
game, and it was Oblivion, which is an Elder Scrolls game. I used to fall asleep playing that
Yeah.
all the time.
Huh.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you a story about when I got into that game?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember.
Let's make me
The
sound really
details.
old. My parents are divorced. I was at my dad's house for the weekend. Friday night, we go and get some movies from Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. What's
which
Blockbuster?
It's a movie rental, where you had to get a physical movie,
Huh.
and you could rent games.
Yes.
Crazy.
Right?
People don't even know. This was before Netflix, which we had, which used to be just DVDs. It was like
Right.
GameFly.
Yes.
Anyway, we go to Blockbuster. My dad's like,
telling
let's-
the ancient history now.
Yeah, he's like, let's get some games. And I was like, all right. I mean, always down to get some games. So we got Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and Kane and Lynch. And we beat Rainbow Six Vegas 2 that night because it was like a co-op player, and we just went through it, which
Mhm.
was funny because my dad was like trying to play tactical. And I'm like, that's a game. You can just run through and shoot everyone. That's what you do. And he's like, you can't just rush the room. And I'm like, yeah,
Sure
it's
you
done.
can. Yeah.
So we beat that, and then we started Kane and Lynch, and it was all right. I ended up beating it alone. So the next day, which was Saturday, we went, and it just said Oblivion and just looked cool. So we get home, I start playing it, and he's watching me, and then I hand him the controller, and he's horrible at doing two sticks, so it's so slow to watch him walk around and be stuck at a wall. And anyway, he must have liked it because Sunday came and he took me back to my mom's, and we come back every other weekend. So 2 weeks later, show up and he still has the game. I'm like, Dad, you were supposed to bring this back. And he's like, I can't even tell you how many nights I didn't sleep while you were gone.
Wow.
And he's like, I was playing it all night. And
This game is so good.
his character was like level, I don't know, 80. And I was still like a 4. And I'm like, what? And so for a while, on and off, it was like he would want to play.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you can't play. He's like, I'm going to play tonight.
Huh.
And I'm like, come on, Dad.
Yeah, so that reminds me of when I first started playing World of Warcraft, back in the day. I didn't know anyone else that played. I bought it at Walmart. One of those things that knew nothing about it, saw the display, and I thought, oh, this looks
Well, that's how you
interesting.
found out about games back then.
Yeah, exactly.
You just saw it. And
You
you're like,
just
this looks cool.
exactly. That's the only way you find out. But so I'm playing it and get to like maybe level 20 or so, something like that. It's really, really long struggle. I found out later it's because of the class I chose was not.
What did you
playing
choose?
it right. A holy paladin
Oh, okay.
to play by myself.
Yeah.
So it's a healer.
Yeah,
And I'm
so you
playing,
can't do
and I
anything.
didn't want to play a healer. I just thought, oh, paladin, sweet, yeah, let me do that. So I'm like, I need someone to play with, and so I told my buddy, like, hey, you should play this game. He got it, and we played that, that first night, together, got him, you know,
Yeah,
ran-
off the
ran around with
island,
him.
off Intro
yeah,
Island.
Yeah. So, and then the next night, you know, I get on and he never got off. So he's already way beyond my level and, and doing stuff. He made friends online. He's very social.
And he left you.
And he left me. Yep.
Aw.
Yeah. He joined a guild and I'm
Oh, he
like,
joined a
oh,
guild and everything,
yeah.
man.
I'm like,
he went
oh.
all in.
okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm back to
Yeah, that's what my dad did.
playing
And
by myself here.
we eventually brought it back to Blockbuster,
Yeah.
and they were like,
We thought we
you've-
lost this.
You've had this for a long time."
You
My
should
dad's
have
like,
just bought it.
Yeah. And he goes, "Well, your fees are," I'm just going to make a number up. He's like, "Your fees are $56. My dad's like, "Whoa," which was a lot
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Or you could buy it for $14.99. My dad's like, "Yep, we're going to buy it because I was just going to check it out again." So it racked up so many late fees,
Oh,
and he
man.
just bought it.
Right? Yeah, movies were like $1 a day, but I think games might have been like $2 or something.
Yeah, they had the weekend you could rent them for, which is what we would do because we were over there for the weekend. But he made friends with the guy that worked there. So when the PS3 was released, you know, everyone had allocations for that. So that store had, I don't know, 10 or 12 or whatever it was, and he bought 5 of them or 4 of them, 4 PS3s. And I think my stepdad bought 3 or 4 too, just because they knew it was going to be a huge release. So they both in separate houses did the same thing and then sold them. I don't remember. One of them made profit and the other one just broke even. But they both wanted one in the house because Blu-ray. Like
Right.
a Blu-ray player was like
Yeah.
$600
Yes.
and the PS3 was cheaper. So
Right.
it's like, of course, they'll get their son a new gaming system if you get a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
My dad was huge into movies and at the time 5.1 and then finally 7.1 surround.
Yep. I did the same thing. I didn't buy a Blu-ray player. I bought a PS3. But I actually like you know, when DVDs, you know, first came out too, I bought one myself. Like I bought
A
one
DVD player?
Yeah. And it's funny because it's basically, you know, it's like a slim VCR about
Yeah.
that size, but super light. I'm like, there's nothing in this, and there really wasn't.
No,
There's
it's just a
nothing
disc
in it.
drive and
Yeah.
one little chip for
Yep.
the screen if it had
Yeah.
a screen. Yeah.
But I remember, I may have been, oh man, I think that was after that, but I do remember like seeing a comparison between like, you know, an SD and an HD screen that was split down the middle when I was in Best Buy, and I'm like, I had no idea that everything I'd been watching prior to that was like super blurry. It's the
Right.
same way that when I first got glasses, like I had no idea
Yeah.
that the world was not blurry.
That's how I felt about Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Like you didn't realize how big of a jump
Right. It may have been that. Like it was around that time.
because you went from
So-
like maybe a movie being like 20 megabytes or something ridiculously small to
Yeah.
a Blu-ray being like 6 gigs of a
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
And then the sound, my dad brought me into the world, but he would look at Blockbuster at the back to make sure it was 5.1 rather than just 2-channel stereo.
Right.
I remember the first time hearing like someone ring a doorbell and it comes out from like behind you, and I was like, that's insane. I'm like, what? That's noises don't just come from a TV anymore.
Right.
It's all around. And now you can go.
Now you're in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought Joy's soundbar for a couple $100, and it's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to get full cranked up crazy, but it's giving you great surround sound. I mean, I've
Right.
watched concerts and surround sound upstairs with that soundbar and sub and rear speakers. Fantastic! How far you can get.
Well, now with you know, meta worlds, you can be digital. Like they're actually like, I think they're planning on like trying to move in that direction where, you know, you have like the Matrix type of
See,
deal,
PlayStation Home tried
plugged
that.
in.
Did you ever play PlayStation Home?
No.
On the
Mm-mm.
PS3?
No.
Crazy. It was
Yeah.
so beyond anything. They should bring it back, but it was beyond. You had your own avatar, you had your own house, apartment. You could walk around, meet people, you know, with a headset or chat. I mean, you were an avatar walking around,
Yeah.
and then you could go to the place where games are and say you wanted to play Fury, I think it was called. You could just hang out and meet some people, and it'd be like, you could agree, like, hey, you want to play Fury together? Boom, you could boot it up right from there, right from the plaza you were in for whatever game it was. It's way beyond its time. I mean, you could buy clothes for your avatar. It was like playing what is that online game on the computer where you make your own person? You know what I'm talking about?
There's quite a few.
Second Life.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know Second Life?
I do.
It was basically Second Life on the PlayStation,
Yeah.
but also integrated, the just being able to boot to whatever game you wanted.
Right.
So there was
Yeah,
a splash screen.
I thought the concept of Second Life was really cool. I tried it out, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. There's nothing here.
I played
There's just
mainly
a bunch
to
of
fly.
freaks.
Yeah, mainly to fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what I wanted to do. But there was no, like, Minecraft, there's something to do. It's a big world, but you can do
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
Second Life, there was nothing
Nothing.
to do.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, one of the reasons PlayStation Home died. Like, if you're not a social person,
Right.
like, you can make a cool house and everything and or apartment, whatever it was, and launch your games. But if you're not talking to people, there's really no reason for you to be
Right.
in PS Home.
Yeah. I'm definitely not very social online at all.
But
not in person either. But
online, like I remember as a kid, you just talk to whoever's in the lobby. I don't even have lobby chat on when I play online anymore. I don't even want to hear the people.
Exactly. I prefer solo player games. I don't really care for multiplayer.
See, I love multiplayer, but only with people I know.
Right.
Because we can talk.
I have fun doing it. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It's just if I've set aside time to play a game, I'm gonna play solo.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna because I feel like obligated to play longer or to do some sort of task that I don't really want to do.
Oh, see, back in my gaming days when I was in college, it was like one more game. Just one more game. And that would go till like 3 a.m. because we just wanted one more game.
Yeah. I got like really sick in college because I wasn't sleeping enough. Not because of my choices, but because I had my PS2 at the time right next to my bed. And I let someone else play it while I'm trying to sleep. Yes, while I'm trying to sleep.
Why did you do that?
Because I was dumb. I was too nice, too compliant.
Yeah, it was a bad choice.
Yes, and so he's sitting right next to my bed playing the video games all throughout the night, and I can't sleep because I was a light sleeper. And
I couldn't sleep with someone else in my room. It just feels weird. Like
yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'd want to be a part of it.
Eventually, like once I got really sick, and I told him, dude, you gotta get out because I need to sleep. Like this is not working for me.
I would stay up really late, but I would sleep in until one day I remember, and I'll forever hate the song "Happy" by Pharrell.
Yeah. Because
it wasn't an apartment, it was like a townhouse. We rented condo, townhouse, whatever you want to call it. So you walk in, you got a kitchen in your main living room. Then down in the basement, we had a storage room, and then kind of like maybe the sides of this room, like a common area, and then a room down there. And so my one buddy who I knew from high school, he wanted that room, and he's like, cool, I'll get this extra space, which it's true. He put a futon down there. We weren't ever going down there. And then upstairs, there was a bedroom on the left, which was mine, and then the other guy who looked over the parking lot on the right. We all had our own bathrooms. And so we're upstairs, and one day I'm just sleeping in. I don't know, maybe I was drinking the night before. I don't know, really tired. And I just start hearing the song "Happy." Like he's getting ready to go to work. And he's just playing it really, really loud. And he's just like singing to it. And
he was happy. Yeah.
And after like the 6th time, Jeremiah, that this song played in a row.
How can you tell? That's the question.
Yeah.
How can you tell it was
because
6 times, not just one time?
It was like 30 minutes.
Okay.
I just kept waking up, and finally I was
So when that song first came out, there was like a 24-hour version.
Really?
Yes. They did like a special like promotion. There's a website.
Maybe that's what he was listening to. I don't know.
24-hour music video.
It didn't stop.
Yeah.
Didn't stop, and I just finally had to yell. I'm like, you need to turn it off, man, or go to work, or turn it down. I don't care what you do. You need to stop because I want to sleep. And all I hear is "because I'm happy," and I was like, oh my god. Kept playing over and over.
Yeah, I had a roommate that would play really, really loud rap music, but
I could have handled that. It was the fact that this song was telling me to be happy, and he was waking me up.
Sure, it's very annoying.
It was very annoying. There's also the time he woke me up while I was sleeping really early in the morning. bangs on my door a bunch, and I would lock my door just for this reason so no one comes in. And he's screaming. He's like, "It's raining outside. Raining outside." I'm like, "All right." And I try to go back to bed, and he's banging on the door. And finally, I open the door. And I just unlock it and lay back in bed. And he comes in. He's like, "Dude, it's raining outside." I'm like, "Okay, man, thanks." He's like, "It's raining." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Your windows are down." I'm like, "Oh my God, you couldn't have started with you left your car windows down?" Like for 10 minutes he's telling me, so he just took my keys and did it for me. Yeah, like not like to me half asleep means it's raining. I'm like, dude, what does this mean for me?
Yep. Your car is in the lake right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Other than that, I mean, they were great.
Speaking of that comment, you should have led with that. I saw a clip of this guy on the trails going through the woods, and he's on a motorized bicycle. And this couple is stopped ahead of him, and they're yelling at him. He's like, you can't have that on this trail, and he's like, just leave me alone. What's wrong with you? And they're like, they're hurt. Like the guy's like coming up and he's like harassing him, and
I've seen this video.
He's like, you can't have this, and he's like, I can't walk, and there's like, you should have led with that.
He shouldn't have to.
Exactly.
The point is why he was. Yeah, I remember that video.
Right.
There's a bunch of them now because so many people have motorized bikes, but it's like, I get if you're tearing up the trail with like a dirt bike, but bike assisted, as long as you're not running people off the road or it's making a ton of noise, like there should be no problem.
Right.
I built one. It uses bike tires.
Mm-hmm.
It's all electric. It's silent. I mean, it's not making any difference. I don't know why those people have to insert themselves into it.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But I feel like people in our town would do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Karen type.
Absolutely. Yes.
They don't like if you're doing something different than them.
Yep.
And it's like the same people, which we've talked about much. You make a car loud, and they're like, "Why?" You're like, you don't have to know why.
Right.
It's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video of a girl that comes knocking on some guy's door, screaming at him. She's like, "Your car wakes me up every morning. It's too loud." He's like, "This is a car I drive. I don't let it rev up in the driveway." He's like, "I start my car and I go to work." And she's like, "You need to fix it." He's like, I'm not going to. This is my car.
There's a lot of lakes around here, but I'm very glad that there's only like one really bad one where all of those people prefer to be on that lake.
It's good.
And not the other ones. So you can be on the other ones and have no problem. So I avoid that the popular one at all costs.
Those same people. No, I'm
not going out there.
They have that rich mentality when they're not rich.
Exactly.
And it's like,
exactly.
I've met really rich people.
Relatively rich to other people. But
to the area.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those
you
people
don't really know what rich is. Like, yeah.
No, I met a guy at the movie theater. We're standing in line for, I don't know if I told this on the podcast, so I apologize if I have, but we're standing in line for Iron Man, I don't know, a Marvel movie. Guy standing behind me, and his wife goes to get popcorn or something, and we start talking, and he was like, hold on, let me look it up. And he pulls out his phone, and his background was a McLaren. No, not a McLaren. It was a Mercedes AMG with the gull wing doors, that open straight out, almost like a spaceship.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's an awesome car. He's like, oh, thank you. He's like, I really like it. I'm like, it's your car? He's like, yeah, I have 3 of them. I was like, oh, really? You're not kidding? He's like, no, yeah, I have 3 of them. I'm like, what? And so we start talking about that, and then his wife comes back. And she's like, you asked him about his car, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, so you drive him here in Michigan? He's like, no.
You've opened Pandora's box.
He's like, no, I got 2 in Florida, and I just got 1 here. And he's like, I live on that lake. He's like, we just built a house.
Yeah.
But the fact about how nice this guy was and was not showboating, he was just like a matter of fact. It was like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, I had to ask him about it.
You're not from around here. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the people that that live there permanently, they walk through a store and they're like, oh my God, you're in my way.
Yeah.
It's like, you're at Walmart, honey.
So
calm down.
I had to go, drive through those neighborhoods for, doing my government work and all that kind of stuff. And
he kills people.
Yes.
I'm letting the viewers know. You're government
I call
work.
it government work. Yeah. But yeah, the just the looks of that they give you of we know that you're not supposed to be here. It's like, no, you don't. You have no idea who I am or why I'm here. But yeah. So that was super frustrating, especially like I had more often than not I'd like they'd answer the door with an attitude.
Yeah,
So,
the fake rich people.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a
It's like you have no idea why I'm knocking on your door, and you're already upset.
the neighborhood that's it's not on that lake, but it's on let's see, the road that the smoothie place is on,
Smoothie.
where Walmart is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you go down there, there's a firehouse, and behind it there's a gated neighborhood
Yeah.
that's on this lake.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
across from that, there's a pretty nice subdivision with really nice houses.
Yeah.
We went there to sell whatever those sports cards are, discounts at places
Sure.
to raise money for the track team.
Yeah.
Me and another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Those people, one of them answered the door and he's like, "What do you want? We're eating dinner. I don't even want to talk to you." And it's like, you could have just been like, "Hey, we're busy."
Right.
But we had a
Don't
lot
answer
of
the
people.
door.
And if someone was like, "You want to do it for your school?" He's like, "Don't you realize this other school is closer than us?" I was like, I don't see how that's relevant. We live around the area, so we're just trying to raise money. So a bunch of houses really mean. We went across the street to that gated neighborhood. Of the people that were home and answered, already had a checkbook out or their wallet. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we would love to support." And the
Sure.
actual like $20 million homes,
Right.
$100 million, and they're
Yes.
just willing to
Yes.
help. And all
Right.
super nice. One of them's like, "Do you want to come in?" Like, this is the difference between people who think or want to be rich
Mhm.
and actual rich people.
Yeah. Right.
And I will say they had a lot of Hispanic people doing their yard work.
Oh.
Which-
Yeah.
It's like fit into that
Huh.
stereotype of rich people having Hispanic people. All very nice, but it was like a weird scene in the summer seeing like,
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of them were white though.
So I mean, I will admit I would pay someone to do my landscaping,
Well, when
but
you
I
have-
wouldn't go out of my way and be like, no, they need to be brown people because I'm a racist. All right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you
Working in that job field, I will say though that the Hispanics worked way harder than me.
right.
As a kid who grew up in a decent neighborhood that was just doing this for like side money, like these guys would work so much harder and
Mhm,
faster
mhm.
and better because they
Right.
want to earn that money. Like
Yeah.
their work ethic was way.
Right.
Mine's better now, but way
Yeah.
better than
I can tell you if I had the choice between a hardworking company and one that's just like, yeah, we show up. It's like, yeah, I'm picking the hard workers. Like,
yeah,
no brainer. Yeah, I want my yard to look really nice. So
exactly.
yeah,
But a lot of those really rich people were not like Caucasian Americans.
right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I mean,
It's-
they're
yes.
probably American, but
Yeah.
they're not what you would think like a straight white male
Right.
being rich. is.
Exactly. Yeah. I know. That's kind of like that. That's been my observation too. It's like it's always. It seems like the general conception is that only straight white dudes are the rich people. It's like,
Yeah.
sure, I've met those guys, but I've met a lot more that don't fit into that mold.
I think they look
So-
at the straight white male that are really rich.
Mhm.
You got Elon Musk and Jeff
Sure,
Bezos. So
but
like
that's-
the richest. are that.
That's like 5 or 10 people.
Exactly.
Like that's not the you can't make a generalized statement like that with only that size of a of a sample. So
Right. Yeah, because when you look at in the media, it is a lot of straight white men that are really rich. But like you said, I've met a lot more that were Middle Eastern or Indian,
Yes.
probably,
yes,
and very smart and very nice
Mhm.
for the most part.
right,
But you're dealing with a huge group. Money doesn't change you as a person.
right.
But yeah, that's where that topic was going.
Hmm.
Really rich people are usually very nice, and you can tell that they're really rich
Yeah.
by how nice they
I mean,
are.
we've talked about the whole restaurant situation here, and it has to do with that mentality. Same thing. Like I perceive myself to be rich, to be better than people, but you're not objectively, but you still have that attitude. So it's like you're not there. You're not not you're not as good as you think you are. So
And I don't know how you get to that. I don't know how you get so delusioned in your mind that you think you're important because of how much money you might have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because when you're really rich, you know you're really rich. But these people just like think they are, and that makes them special. It's weird because when you're middle class or poor, like, you know you're not
Mm-hmm.
special in any way. And when you're really rich, you know you just have a lot of money and you're not special. Why is it that weird?
I think what it is like, it's a lot of those people came, the majority of them anyway, like built their own business, like came from nothing
Mm-hmm.
and then built something and then, started making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's if I could, generalize, on their philosophical, ideas there, but like they seem to be embarrassed of who they used to be, and they hate that person, and by extension anyone who reminds them of where they used to be.
It's so weird.
So
Because the famous people that are rich, not massively rich, but even, actors and everything, they always talk about what they came from
right.
and how glad they are, to get out of it. And most of them go back and help the people that were in their situations. It's just so weird that there's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only in smaller towns like we live in.
Right.
Big cities, that never happens.
Yeah.
You go to big cities, they let you walk into the Gucci store or the Lamborghini dealer because you don't know who has money.
Yes.
And they're nice to every single person.
Yeah.
But I've gone
When you're dealing with products of that caliber, that level, you can't afford to judge people and turn away business. You have no idea. Like if you can afford this, come on in. I don't get.
Right.
Like if you're wearing, got holes in your shoes, you could be, a billionaire. I don't know.
The craziest. And so I visit this Lamborghini dealer in Chicago all the time. Gold Coast Motors.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just Lamborghini, but it's usually what they have. And I mean, people come in all the time. A lot of people are too afraid to walk in, but the salespeople don't care because, like you said, they don't know who you are.
Right.
The one time I know for sure I saw someone that was going to buy something was because he was sitting at one of the couches and they brought him breakfast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So the guy sitting there eating eggs is probably buying something.
Right?
Because,
oh, man. My dad was always really about that, about winding up salesmen. Like they
really?
thought they had a for sure sale.
He was just doing
and
it.
Dad's just in there just to browse. Like he's like, I'm not buying anything, but I'm gonna make them think they do that I am. Yeah.
See, the best luck I had with driving my dream car that just happened at a little dealer. I remember going there. I'm looking at it, and a family comes up with their son who was younger than me, and the kid just looked like a douchebag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had a sideways flat bill hat, super bag. He just looked like a skater, punk kid, but poser. Like he just looked like a douchebag. And his parents are like talking, and they're just bad mouthing this car. They're like, "Oh, look, the target top has definitely been replaced. It must have blown off. This isn't original." And it's my dream car. So I'm like, that's very obviously an all original car. I'm like, you would know if the top wasn't accurate. And they're beating this guy up, and they leave. And I walk back up and I'm looking at it. The sales guy comes over and he's like, "Oh, are you interested? It's, we're asking. It's on consignment. It's $56,000." I'm like, "I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm 19. Like I can't afford that. I'm just looking." And he's like, "Oh, okay. You want to take it for a test drive?" I was like, I just told you, man. Like I can't. There's no chance of me buying." He's like, "Oh no, I know, but no one here's driven it. So you want to take it?" And I was like, "Yes." So I said, "I'll come on inside."
Let's do it. Yes.
So I go inside and I sent a picture to my mom, a selfie. I'm like, they're literally letting me drive this car.
I actually just the other night I was at the grocery store, kind of late at night, and I almost got ran over by a Supra.
Really?
Yes.
A new one?
No, it was it was an old one. Yeah.
The older one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't, but I'm walking across the crosswalk and
you saw that. I've only ever seen one in our area.
Yeah.
And it was over in the town I used to live in, where the old folks' home is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving this way, and it was driving that way. And I literally swung a U-ey because I'm like, I need to see where this car is going to stop.
Yeah.
And they pulled into the old folks' home. So like a weird creeper at 16, I followed it in there. And he must have been lost because he just did a circle around and left. And I was like, all right, now it's getting weird. Because like he watched me pull into this place with him, and then if I leave and follow him, it's going to seem really creepy. So I let it go, but... Yeah, it's what I would do for those cars.
Right?
I talked to the dealer up in Grand Blanc. I said the city name doesn't really matter.
Oh,
they know.
doxed us.
I guess it's not. We don't live in Grand Blanc, so that's
Right.
fine. Anyway, they had two of them there when I was 16 or 17. They parked them like this. One was red and one was black.
We've already mentioned cities before anyway.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
And I sat in them and everything, and ever since then, I've seen the black one comes in for service sometimes because if you drive by, it's in the back. But I had talked to them so many times about trying to buy one when I was serious, when I had money in my pocket before I bought my Corvette. And those sales guys were such assholes. Like, no one would get back to me.
Right.
And I had to tell them, like, look, I'm deadly serious. If you can get one, like, I'm not looking to finance. Like, I will just buy this outright from you. And I can never get them to come back. And when we went with Joy to get a car, we walked in. The guy was just talking down to her the whole time. And I was like, oh, you should be looking at this. And I was like, we're just going to leave. We're just going to, you don't treat people like you have. Yeah, we look young. You have no idea how much money we have.
Right. Yeah.
I could have just bought
Well,
this.
I mean, you saw, like, you went with me when I was looking for a car. And, how nice and friendly the guy was until he realized I wasn't buying that day.
Yes.
So.
And he tried strong arming you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was super nice and gung ho about it.
Which was off-putting. I will admit that.
Yeah.
I did not like that from the start.
What was weird though is how defensive the salesman got when we pointed out the obvious flaws.
Exactly.
In the
He
used
knew
car.
nothing about this car and was still
he's
trying
offended.
to gaslight us. It's like,
It's because I've dealt with hundreds of salesmen, and never once has someone been offended,
right?
Or taken it personally. They're like, "Oh,
Exactly.
I'm so sorry. Let me talk to the tech, see if we can get that fixed before we sell it to you."
It's like, obviously you haven't looked up this car's history yet, because he hadn't.
No,
He knows nothing about it, and like he, just by looking at it, we knew more about the car than he did, and yet, he's trying to tell us we're idiots for.
What was the crazy thing he said? There's none for sale in the U.S. that are this good of a deal.
He always said in 100 miles.
In 100 miles, and
yeah,
that
you're
wasn't
not going to find
close.
a better deal in 100 miles.
It wasn't even. There was like 30 of them.
Absolutely not.
There was like 30 of them better price. I don't know.
It's like that might work on some people, and I feel bad for those people because
He was like using old school tactics for a world that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
that's always been my experience at that dealership.
Really?
I don't like that dealership for that reason, and not that salesperson. It's
sales guys.
Yeah, it's a different one. Yep. Well, I'm again using a small sample size of 2, so
okay, well,
not enough.
Probably like 6 that work there. So
yeah, so
they're technicians, and their service manager, really nice guy.
Yeah,
in my experience.
Sure.
I called him when I had a problem at another dealership, and he told me to bring it to him, and he actually waived all my warranty fees. So. I mean, he maybe just wanted the business, so I keep bringing it back to him.
Right.
He was very nice, and they seem more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So that was good. But yeah, that sales guy was horrible that day.
Yeah. But again, it just reaffirmed my feelings about that place. The first encounter was so bad that I'm like, I will never buy from this place. And then you said, oh, well, they have, this car there. We go take a look at it. And I'm like, had a bad experience, but, since you were going with me, we're looking at a car, I'm like, all right, well.
Oh, it was mainly to get the drive down in that car.
What were the chances that guy's still working there? He was such a bad salesman. I didn't see him, so he might not still be working there. But still, to get another, equally bad experience, at the same place, it's like, oh, geez. And then while we were there, the manager is yelling at another person because he's mad at someone who's not even there and taking it out on her. It's like, what? She didn't even do anything. She has nothing to do with this situation, and you're yelling at her because you're mad at that someone else didn't do something.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on here? Like, this is like, do you not know how to be professional? It's like, what?
You know what? That's the same dealership where I went to test drive a Challenger.
Yeah.
That I wanted to buy, because this was right before I got the Corvette. I was in the air. And the guy got the keys for me and everything, and we're sitting in it and started up, and a guy came running out, and he's cussing at me. He's like, well, this car's sold.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so he starts cussing back at the guy, and he's like, well, how would I know it's sold?
Right.
You didn't tell anyone? The keys are still on the rack.
Right.
It's still on the site. And it's like, these guys can't even figure this out.
Right.
But
I mean, that's what happens when in a sales environment where it is, cutthroat and competitive and all that kind of stuff, it's like you're gonna see a lot of that stuff.
But on the other side,
So-
we went to the largest Kia dealership in Michigan
Yeah.
to get a Kia. Called the guy,
Mhm.
specific guy, was like, look, you say do you have 6 online? He's like, I got 6. I'm like, well, we want to come drive one. We haven't driven one. Be there on Saturday.
Mhm.
He's like, cool, come at this time. We show up. Girl's like, oh yeah, just take a seat. We'll get someone to deal with you. We were there for an hour and a half. No one talked to us. There's a bunch of people waiting, and they say they sell the most. I literally call up another dealership in Grand Blanc. I was like, do you have one we can test drive? She's like, well, yeah, it's not what you want. Yeah, you can come test drive it for sure. That's fine. And then we can get you one ordered or wait till one comes in. I'm like, we're going there. We're just leaving. And Joy was like, we going to tell them we're leaving? I'm like, no.
They
Nope.
they didn't show us any
And then
respect.
the guy-
What do you?
Someone called me from that dealership, and they're like, hey, you still interested? I'm like, I showed up to your dealership and waited an hour and a half, and no one talked to me, and we were ready to buy that day and walk out with it if we liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, do you think you want to come back in? I'm like, no, I will not be coming back. There's just no way. So
that was very similar to that conversation I had
when he called
with that salesman. He called me back days later. He's like, hey, you still want to buy this? And I'm like, I didn't want to buy it that day because of my experience.
Yeah.
What makes you think I changed my mind? I'm going to come back in and be like, you know what? You suck so bad that I want to buy from you.
Yeah, and the car was so rough, you didn't know anything about it. I'm sure you fixed all the problems.
Right.
So yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, at the lowest end, cutthroat, but at the highest end, they have so many buyers, they don't care.
Right.
They don't care how they treat you. Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, someone else is going to walk in the door and
Yeah, I've always had a
one.
problem with that mentality when it comes to, especially for like, something like that, car salesman. You can kind of operate under the assumption that you have an unlimited, number of customers to sell to. But in other industries, where I used to work as prime example, there is a finite number of people that you can sell your service to. And if you, don't treat those people well and you lose them, they're gone forever.
Oh, yeah.
And you've just diminished, your potential
supply,
capacity. Yeah. Yes. And not only that, like
Who they
if you
talk
treat
to.
them exactly, if you treat them bad enough, you've lost all the people that they talk to.
Yeah, so there are several dealerships, because we just bought a car, that I would never recommend anyone just because how they acted.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one guy, Mario, at Troy Suburban.
There he is.
This guy
That
was
guy.
amazing. If you want to buy a
Yep.
Kia or Hyundai, go to this guy.
He's the guy.
I call him. Took me like 10 minutes to get to him. I had scratched the dealership right off the list. I was like, these people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Get a hold of this guy. He's like, all right, I do have one. Yeah. I was like, cool. If the price is good, I'll put a deposit over the phone. He's like, I don't need a deposit. Which is crazy because other places I called wouldn't even take a deposit. Like, we'll have someone else come in and buy it before. And every person that told me that called me the next day
Right.
and said, would you like to come in?
They're flying off the shelves. I mean, the parking lot.
Yeah.
They're driving out of here.
So this guy was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll just hold it for you. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, not a problem.
Huh.
And so I called this guy a bunch of times just, to keep confirming. And we get there, and he was like, he tells Joy, he's like, your husband, man, I got to make sure I don't screw anything up. This guy's on me. And I was like, man, you don't even know the experiences I've been through trying to get this car.
Huh.
And so we're sitting there, and we go to do the payment, and Joy's bank was closed. So they wouldn't raise her limit to
Right.
put the down payment.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, don't worry about it. Just come back when you can. We'll hold it. And I was like, you're going to hold it more. No money down. He's like, yeah, you guys seem serious. He's like, I mean, those people over there, they're waiting to see if you buy today because they want it. He's like, but I'll lock the keys in here and I'll tell them you're going to come back another day. And I'm like, this is some serious, I mean, that's serious sales.
Right.
He
yeah.
knows he has one. There's
Yeah.
other customers that would buy it. And he's like, no,
Right.
I'm committed to helping these people out.
Yeah.
And we got it worked out and we did get it that day,
Right.
but it was just crazy
Yeah.
how many dealerships wouldn't take money. I was like, I'll give you
Yes.
$500 today
Mm-hmm.
to hold it for one day. And
There's
they're
a
like,
lot
nope.
more to it than just selling a product, because again, like you said, every interaction you have, when it comes to that, you have to look at, you are sowing the seeds for future, interactions with not just
yeah.
that person, but with their family, with everyone they talk to.
I've told everyone I've talked to about
yeah.
this guy.
Word of mouth is huge.
Yep.
In sales. Like you have to be on your game with that. So You can't just like treat it as a routine transaction. Even if you don't screw anything up, you did everything correctly, but no one's gonna walk out of there and be like, hey, you have to go see this
Which
guy.
is what I just said.
Right.
To a possibility of endless people.
Yes.
Because that's how much I
Right.
believe that this guy
At
is
least
worth
10 million.
Yeah.
Growing every day.
Even the used car we bought last, the guy was he wasn't pushy, took our number. He's like, if something comes in that you want, I'll call you.
Right.
He showed us something. We're like, oh, we don't really like it. He's like, yeah, not a problem. Don't worry about it. He's like, go find something you want.
Right.
And he's like, if you find something and I'm not here and you want to take it home that day, he's like, don't worry about it. And I was like, no, we're going to stick with you, man. I mean, you've been great. I want you to get the commission. He's like, don't worry about it. Whatever you need, I'm there to help. And we told everyone that wants a used car to go to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's name was Jason. He was at Grand Blanc, El Cerro. Guy's just fantastic. He's there to get you what you want.
Right.
He's not there to.
I mean, I've had great interactions there, but I mean, I was fortunate enough. I actually know one of the managers there, so
okay.
I don't buy from him,
Mm-hmm.
but he will send me to his sales guys and tell them hey, take care of him.
It's just nice
So,
when they want to take care of.
right.
You, like that specific used guy wasn't there to sell cars.
Right.
He was there to sell you the car you want.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
And if he doesn't have it,
that
he
first
doesn't
dealership, that first experience, I walk in there and want a truck, and he's like, how about this not a truck? And and what can I do to get you in this not a truck today? And I'm like, nothing. There's nothing you could do
That's
that will
what
get me to buy
dealership
that.
did. I went for a Challenger.
Although honestly though, next time I went looking for a truck, they're like, how about this Malibu? And I'm like, I could do a Malibu. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want a truck, but hey, can't deny the
price.
gas mileage. Yeah,
the price.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, they tried to tell me I wanted to spend $30 on a Challenger, and he's like, how about this new Hellcat?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I mean, you're going from 30 to 80. That's not really. And he's like, you want to take it for a test drive and see? I was like, I mean, I would love it. I can tell you that.
Sure.
But it's not.
Yeah.
These magic monies are not just going to come out of nowhere.
Right.
I can't afford it.
Yeah, I got myself in trouble once because I went to a dealership, like, even before I showed up, I know I'm driving away in that car. And so, unfortunately, I met some people there, and my buddy and his girlfriend, yells across the parking lot, "It's right here, Jay."
Oh yeah.
And points at it, and the sales guys hearing, seeing that, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's coming to buy this car. All right."
They already got you.
So I had to put a bigger deposit down to
because they knew they got you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but I drove that off the lot. Yeah. I walked away with it. But
car sales are just so weird. It's all customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Two dealerships across from each other had the same car. I'm looking at one on the lot. No one comes out to talk to me. Drove across the street. Someone comes out immediately and goes, "You want to test drive it?" I didn't end up liking the car, so I would never buy one, but I wasn't sure. But the fact that they were willing, even though it was a little bit more, they let me drive. I would have bought from them instead of the guys who never came to talk to me.
Right.
So I get there's some people that don't want to be bothered, but at least ask. Like, hey, is there anything we can help you with? Just looking? Cool. Let me know. Because I also hate the overly pushy people.
Right.
They're like following you around. They're like, you want to look at them? I'm like, look, I'm just browsing, man.
Yeah.
You're not getting a sale from me. Just move along.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. That reminds me of when I was a server. One time I made the mistake of being overly attentive to a table. They did not like that.
No, yes, you got to feel them out,
right? Yeah, I'm like, geez.
Yeah, servers too. I get it.
You're in this tiny table, and it's like the whole thing is just full of plates, and so I'm like, anything I can do to
clear
it up for you, get you some more space, and they felt that I was trying to rush them, and it's like, oh, well, no, I mean, you could sit here all night, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna make the same regardless, which is maybe about 2% tips because I was terrible.
That's the thing with servers though, because like there's a medium. Because if they're never at your table, I don't even want it to. It's like I got no drink refill my whole meal.
Right.
And then you got the people that are coming back to your table asking you constantly. It's like, let me just
Right?
eat my food. Like, you
I
can't
love
talk to me every
the
10 seconds.
how is everything before I've had my first bite?
Yeah, they come back so
Yep.
fast.
I'll be like, well, I'll let you know. Hang out for a second.
Yeah, hang on. Watch me take a bite.
You want to try it?
You know, I like that they ask that, and I don't, because I feel like if your food's not good, you're going to tell someone.
Yeah.
They don't really have to ask you.
Right.
They don't
Yes.
need to know.
Right.
Because you're going to let them know.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm so nice, I don't think I ever would.
Yeah.
I just feel
Yeah.
bad because it's not their fault.
My
and
family came once to that restaurant when it was a terrible restaurant, but it's a steakhouse. My mom orders pasta. Now I should have told her prior to that
the
they
pasta
don't
was bad.
actually make their own pasta. So, which steakhouse, I mean, whatever, but it's in the microwave. They make it in the microwave. All right, so it comes out lukewarm because they didn't microwave it enough, and she didn't want to send it back because I was the one that was serving them. So yeah, but
It just feels weird to send it back because most of the time I don't even want to wait. Like, I've had something come out wrong. Like,
Mhm.
people at my table are like, you want to send it back? I'm like, it's not even worth the hassle,
right.
right? Like, I'd have to wait all this time
Yeah.
again, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just eat it. It's
Right.
fine. Shit happens.
Right.
I don't need it perfect.
Right.
You
If I wanted it
do
perfect, I
yourself.
would have made it myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except steak. I can cook really good steak.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a place in Grand Blanc that has the best steak I've had anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've had steak in big cities, had steak in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best steak I've ever had.
Hmm.
And they're priced slightly more than the average steakhouses around here.
And you haven't taken me yet? What's
What? You've never been there? Right across from the movie theater.
across from the movie theater?
You wouldn't even know it was there.
Really?
There's like a little plaza there. It looks
Oh
like,
yeah. You were telling me about
It's
that. No,
back
I've
in there.
never been there. No,
Oh man, it's the
Yeah.
it's the best steak
really.
you will have. I
Huh.
just left them a review. I did all my Google reviews because, shout out to myself, I'm in the top like 4%
There you
of
go.
Google reviewers.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm that far up, I just keep doing it.
Right? Yeah.
No,
Gotta
almost
stay
no
on
one,
top. Yeah.
almost no one gets 5 stars. They got 4,
Right.
and I can't even say why they got 4, and I say that in my review. The food is great, the pricing, service, everything is great, but it doesn't feel 5 stars to me. And I don't know what they can do, so I feel bad for giving them 4. Like, I don't know what would get them the 5 stars.
Hmm.
But have you ever had an excellent experience somewhere where you're like, could have been better? I don't
Everywhere.
know why.
Always.
But it could have been better.
Yes, my standards are way too high.
You're like, this was great.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fault you, but you
Mhm.
could have been better. And then if
Yeah.
even if they ask you, you're like, I don't know. I really,
Right?
You could have done something,
Surprise me.
right?
Do something. Dazzle me.
That's what drives me nuts about steakhouses. You go to, I'll just throw out a few. You go to Lucky's, Outback, Logan's Roadhouse. They're all steakhouses,
Right.
and that have like the shittiest steak.
Yes. Yep.
Even Black Rock, who has multiple locations.
Never been.
I went
Yeah.
once, cooked it on the Rock myself. Was like,
Mhm.
I'm paying more for something stupid.
Right.
Ordered it.
That's why I won't go.
Ordered it from the kitchen because
Yeah.
they will cook it for you,
Yeah.
and it is good meat.
Mm-hmm.
Just bad seasoning, bad cooking,
Hmm.
all around not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how these steakhouses get away with charging $30, $28.99 for a steak and sides. And people,
I used to go to a place in Austin that was phenomenal. So phenomenal. Like great steak.
yeah,
Yeah.
bigger cities, you'll definitely
Yep.
get that.
Yeah.
But places around here, these chains can get away with it because there's no competition.
Right?
You're paying $30 for a steak, and people love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see so many people saying, "Hey, you gotta go to Lucky's. You gotta go to
No, you don't.
Outback." And
No,
it's
you
like,
don't.
have you never been anywhere else?
Yeah.
Literally anywhere else? I mean, for $30, you can
So-
cook a lot better.
That Outback reminds me of a funny story. So I was out east on tour for basically it was we take inflatables like those kids obstacle course, that kind of stuff. Ton of them. All these events all up and down the coast. Well, not all up and down the coast. It was basically like New England area. And anyway, we this church was having an event the next day, and so we got there the night before, and they're like, "We'll put you up in our what is it called,
Penthouse?
Parthonage or whatever it is, It's basically like this little apartment on church property.
Oh,
So-
yeah, for the pastor or whatever.
Yeah. But they wanted to take us out to dinner first, so we went to Outback. And so, like, we had just rolled into this town, go to, like, we'll take you to dinner. And so we're sitting there, eating our dinner, pastor of the church, whatever, and he's telling me, we're some of the struggles and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, one of our biggest issues that I wish we could fix is, our music. And like right now we don't have anyone that can play any instruments. We just play along to a CD. And so the guy went, he pipes up and he's like, oh, yeah, well, Jeremiah, he plays keys and guitar and can sing. And he's like, and the pastor's like, wait, what? Like, I will give you a job right now. Like, if you stay here and
live here now.
Yep. and lead worship, for everybody. And I'm like, dude, I've never even been to your church. It's like, you don't even know if I can play. You're just going off the word of this guy.
He's ready for it.
And he's like, even if you are terrible, you're still going to be better than what we got.
You're better than nothing. So we will take you.
And then I found out the next day what he was talking about. And
It was
I'm
bad?
like, whoa, yeah. Yeah, you weren't joking. You need
help.
something, yeah.
You need help.
That makes sense. What your comments last night about, like,
That's
I will
why.
hire you sight unseen.
You
like,
play kazoo?
yep.
Done. Done. Simon, you can whistle? You're
Right? Yeah.
I think you're probably a little overqualified for a church band like that, though. I would say.
I haven't played in a long time, so.
Better than nothing, though.
Yeah, better than the nothing. Yep.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, we hit our time. Roll us out.
Okay, all right, let's wrap it up here. All right, so this has been another episode of Zero Intentions Podcast. Once again, we put all of our previous episodes over on YouTube. The link is in the description on our channel there. So be sure to go over there, leave a comment, like, share, do all that stuff. You get us to 10 million and one subscribers if you subscribe. So it'll say far less than 10 million, but it's just we like to hide that. We hide
like
that. Like
YouTube, we got rid of our subscriber count.
Now there's no dislike button,
No
so you can't
know.
dislike our our videos. Thanks, YouTube.
Honestly,
I appreciate that.
I'd like you to dislike it, right? Anything.
Do something, yeah, and engage. You heard about that, right? YouTube.
Yeah, I did. That's why I brought that
anyway.
up.
So library on YouTube. We do our live streaming here on Twitch on Fridays. So tune in next week. We still haven't had anyone comment yet. We got that
for you.
We got that secret prize for you. So
you have to go back and watch the last video. I'm not going to explain it again.
Yep.
We've explained it last
it's in the last video. So
check it out.
So anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. It's been Jeremiah, Kyle,
Grogu.
And Grogu. Yes, thank you.
I can't. Yeah, his face doesn't show up. He's smiling. I promise.
He is. Yeah.
All right,
Nice
folks.
smile.
It's it. We're ending it. So I'm just rolling the ending right now.
All right. Yep. Still haven't caught up yet, but keep an eye on that.
That's all right. It should be quick.
Right.
We'll do it your way.
A little ways behind here. Still going.
It should be that far. On mine,
It's
it's
a-
not.
All right. There it goes.
It's going?
That's the end.
All right. Well, I think it will go all the way to here because I only hit stop streaming once, so we should be able to hear all this. Goodbye, folks.